What's good? It's Diggity Dom, back at it again with episode 4 of Talks with Dom, featuring T.U.P.A, Norman, and we got, hold on, I want y'all to give y'all's names because I don't want to F it up, alright? Tell me what you want to go by.
So, everybody knows I'm Norman.
I'm Ahmad K.
Word.
Yes, sir.
Dope. So we about to talk about self-care, alright? Because that is vital. That is important. And y'all need to get hit.
Yes.
Alright, so let's hit it with this intro. And we about to get into this.
Do it.
My name is Dom, Diggity Dom, Dom, Diggity Dom, Dom, Diggity Dom, Diggity Dom, Dom, Diggity Dom.
Alright, so we're back. Okay, so basically I do mad shit, right? And sometimes people think I do too many things and that I need to stop and slow down. And so I feel like sometimes when I watch Netflix or like go for a walk or meet with a friend, that's my version of self-care. Because I'm like, you know, I understand that we gotta take time to ourselves to like really reflect and like calm down, get grounded, and just figure out like, yo, what do you want? And like, you know, just like become like relaxed, because when you do too much shit, you can crash. And you get sick, your energy's low.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Yup, and then it's hard to fight off all these negative, you know, things coming your way. I don't know. I want to know how y'all handle self-care. Like, when you're going through a bunch of stuff and you just feel like, yo, like, I can't do this. What do you do to cope with that?
I mean, at first I want to say, I'm Ahmad K, by the way, again. First I want to say, self-care definitely looks different for me than it looked a few years ago. You know, a few years ago I was all over the place, you know, kind of still trying to figure myself out, still trying to figure out how to deal with emotions, the outside world, and things like that. Whereas kind of coming into where I am now, I know that self-care actually means healing. And that's why I like to call it healing, more so than self-care, because healing is all-inclusive and all-encompassing.
Right.
And we know that healing can't be done, or we should know that. We gotta know that healing can't be done without others. You can't heal on your own. You can't heal by yourself, because a lot of the pain and trauma that we have as Black people, as Nubian people, we didn't get on our own. We didn't. So if you didn't get something on your own, then you can't heal from it on your own. And that's why community is important. Yeah, in order for you to heal from something, you need community. It takes a village.
Yes, that is so valid.
Yeah, I mean, Dito to everything Ahmad said. I'm Nimran Laray again. And self-care definitely has a lot to do with healing. Self-care and healing is one and the same, in that it's important to be able to reconcile with those experiences that may have been traumatizing. And not everybody wants to do that shadow work.
Right.
Not everybody wants to have that time to sit and reflect about certain experiences that may have been traumatizing, in the sense that it shapes your framework, your reality of how you view the world. A lot of people, you know, the reason why they may have complications in relationships, it may be rooted in, you know, your relationship with your parents. It may be rooted in, you know, a lot of certain things, but it's up to you as an individual to have that introspection and to have that time to reflect. And I think that's, you know, I like to say COVID-19 is a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Blessing in the sense that it has allowed us to stop, pause, and think and reflect, instead of going on the run. Gotta wake up at 8, gotta, you know, make my breakfast, gotta, you know, get dressed, you know, go to school, go to work, then go to my second job.
Right.
Then,
yeah.
you know,
Listen.
So being able to stop, pause, and think and reflect during this time, you know, has allowed me to heal. And when I say heal, it has allowed me to do self-care.
Oh yeah.
Word. That's what's up.
Start doing things that you enjoy. This is really the time to start thinking about what are the things that I haven't been doing that I've been talking about all this time, or I've been thinking about. Shadow work, by the way, is shadow work in a nutshell is the things that you don't want to admit. The things that you probably wouldn't want to say in front of other people. Like for instance, you know, not to be negative, but you know, say there's someone that you really haven't been getting along with for a number of years, and you know, maybe you all are coworkers, or maybe you guys are friends, you know, associates, but you just don't get along. You're always butting heads. You kind of get annoyed with each other. For you to just say to yourself, like, yeah, I really don't like him. That's shadow work. You know, and I don't have to be around him. That's shadow work. You know, I don't have to exert extra energy for this person who I know really probably wouldn't exert the energy for me.
Right.
And that's definitely self-care and healing.
Right. Like, why waste that energy, you know, trying to make something, like, especially like different relationships, like, you know, certain things, like for example, a few years ago, I was in a very tough relationship that was very tough on my mental health, and it seemed like almost every day, like I was fighting, you know, like trying not to have a mental breakdown, trying not to start busting out crying in the middle of my class.
Wow.
And it got to a point like where like I realized like I can't continue to put myself in this situation, and I had to get out of it for my own mental health. But being the person that I am, I wanted to make sure, like, you know, are they okay?
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that they got the help that they needed, because I didn't think they did it consciously.
Right.
That's
I'm
not
so
always
curious.
the case, you know what I mean?
I'm so curious.
Like, you know, and I don't want to get too deep into, you know, people's personal lives, but like, long story short, like, you know, I wanted to make sure that they got the help and that they needed to control, you know, or, you know, not necessarily being like, you know, but I want them to be able to be in control of their own emotions and their feelings, you know, rather than whatever was taking control of them. And whatever was happening was affecting me too much where I had to end that relationship. But it helped. That was healing me, you know what I mean? And I became stronger because I got out of that.
And how many people actually are able to come to that realization that this relation that I'm in is toxic AF. And I need to oh, this is for the Christians. I need deliverance. Okay? Like, I'm crying out, but for you were able to come to that realization to create those boundaries. And sometimes creating those boundaries, you mean separating from those groups of people from, you know, your life. It may be for a season, or it actually may, you know, be for the rest of, you know, your life. But taking that time out to reassess your boundaries.
Right. That's very important, yo. Very, like, and I'm saying, like, it took time, like, to really
it's
deal
not
with that.
an overnight thing.
Right. Like, definitely, you know, just, you know, evaluating everything and figuring out, like, what do you really want, like, deep down? Are you comfortable with the position that, you know, you're in? I know that I wasn't, and it took me a while to, like, build the strength to be like, hey, like, you know, even though I wasn't able to get a girl, like, you know what I mean? I was younger, I was like, I finally got somebody. I'm like, yo, like, this is not it. Like, that's not it. She's not for me.
Man,
and, you know,
taking me down memory lane.
Shoot.
How many people, like, how many times we were in certain relationships that we were just settling because we were just hungry for attention, or we were just hungry for just wanting to be in relationship, but it ended up being the wrong relationship and not the one for us.
I mean, that's really in a nutshell why the whole gay community, or the whole, LGBTQ community, I'm however saying that, is misunderstood. And, you know, it's because being that this community was fostered in an environment where, you know, we had to be hidden and we couldn't go out and just meet someone the way that heterosexuals just go out and meet someone. We had to be underground, and that's seen as promiscuous. It's seen as, oh, you know, everyone's kind of like looking for sex or looking for, you know, when really some people are looking for companionship. Some people are looking for
love in all the wrong places.
Right.
Why? Because our love was never, and still technically is not, you know, considered natural. It's not considered, you know, acceptable. I mean, yeah, we live in the United States, but look at the day and age that we're living in. It's almost like we're taking 50 years back.
Trump literally just tried to sign some stuff, or is trying to sign some stuff. They didn't already with the Supreme Court to take away trans rights. Okay, like for why? Like how are we affecting you? Like seriously.
How is our
like health
love life? How is our health? How is our health affecting your health in the way that you want to take it away from us?
Yeah.
The right.
How you gonna deny us from a homeless shelter? Like, are you serious? Like, for real?
Self-care
People
is
too,
practicing what the fuck you preach.
Right.
And you know, in the Bible it says, turn the other cheek. You know, that's definitely something that Christians believe. You know, a lot of traditions and religions believe in turning the other cheek. And turning the other cheek means minding your business. When something doesn't pertain to you, you know, this is not the life that you're living.
Right.
You don't come home with me. You don't, you know, just mind your business.
Right.
It's the same way I mind my business about you, because it doesn't bother me.
And then I will also challenge people to actually make it about your business, because our life, we're human beings just like a lot of other people are human beings. So if at the end of the day we're saying, you know, God is love, but yet you don't love your neighbor who's gay, who's trans, who's lesbian, who, you know, is a black woman.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Like, you then all of a sudden have your, you know, deflectors up and say, okay, no, my love only goes so far because they are this. No, God's love doesn't have any limitations. So why do we put limitations on our love?
Whoever your God is doesn't have limitations on love, and if they do, you might need to think about who you're praying to.
Facts.
Check it.
Honestly, like, I believe that, you know, like, we should love people regardless of where they came from, who they are, like, you know, background, like religion, color, gender, what sexuality, whatever the fuck the case is, because at the end of the day, like, you know, like, different things happen for different reasons. Some people, you know, like, how they grew up, like, not trying to, like, excuse, like, somebody killing somebody, but, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, I don't know what happened, like, what led to that, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many different things that you can't really, like, form to judge. You can't judge nobody because you don't know what nobody been through.
Right.
Like, how are you gonna put yourself in there?
And then we're in 2020. At this point, if you are still holding judgments that are rooted still in, like, white supremacy, misogynoir, anti-black, you know, LGBTQ+, then, like, you need to check your ideology. You need to check your framework.
Absolutely.
It's time to decolonize those frameworks. Why? Because we are moving in a day and age where so many people who are not a part of the quote-unquote majority are truly becoming the majority, which means we need more representation on all levels. So, but why is it that the TV shows we watch or the movies that we watch still don't represent the population of, you know, the United States? If we know that, you know, black people specifically are becoming the majority, then why still are we seeing predominantly white news anchors, predominantly white, you know, stars? The Oscars still has not, you know, given Viola Davis and many other black women who have paved the way their credit. Okay, come on.
And that's a huge part, talking about self-care, of knowing yourself, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, and having pride in that. And you really can't have pride in who you are. I mean, unless it's a false pride, unless you research and study and learn. You know, like, we believe in being lifelong learners. You know, you should always kind of be looking into, what did my people do? You know, what impact did they have here? Because, you know, we've come to learn that we are our ancestors. You are those who have transitioned on in your family, those that you don't know, you know, those who have made impacts. You are them, they live through you, and you help them just as they help you. So you got to know yourself to even be able to venerate your ancestors in the way that you're supposed to.
Yeah. I feel like,
Go ahead.
Word. I was gonna say, like, I feel like that relates a lot to, like, people's inspirations, you know, like how different artists, especially creators, you know, a lot of our music, movies, and things that we listen to, things that inspire what we create and what we do, and like all the things in our actions, how we talk, how we move, how we walk. All of those things are having to do with the environment that we're in, or our families. Like, if we have cancer that runs in our family, or diabetes, you know, like, I'm lactose intolerant, so is my mother, you know what I'm saying? It's like all of that, like, relates, and it's all connected. And if we want to get really deep here, if we want to talk about why I'm lactose intolerant, that's because we was on the slave ship, okay, stacked up like sardines, pissing and shitting on ourselves, because, you know, and that just jacked up all up in here, and all up in our bodies. Our chemistries and DNA is literally changed because of that.
A lot of us are lactose intolerant, and if you don't think you are, you might want to check into that. A lot of us should be drinking almond milk or soy milk or some other type of milk that's not dairy.
That's not from a cow. It's cow pus. It's not meant for humans.
Man, I like my lactate milk, but I do be drinking a hell of a lot of almond milk. I've been drinking a lot.
I like coconut milk. Shout out to oat milk too. Let me try some of that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, sometimes it'd be a little more expensive. But we just
finished.
If y'all know any black-owned, like, non-dairy milks, put me on, put us on, because I'm trying to support.
Go to the Daily Table.
Yes, I'll be over there.
That's where we get our fresh herbs. That's actually where we tried oat milk, and it was boss.
Or go to farmers markets.
In farmers markets,
But so the thing about that, so anyone who knows us knows that we're definitely all about black-owned, supporting black-owned businesses. You know, we should be putting our dollar back into our communities, back into ourselves. You know, once again, this is self-care. That's
Pay yourself.
Sense of pride. Thank you.
Okay.
Exactly. But what I want to say about that is, because a huge part of, you know, kind of what we practice and what we believe in is use what you have, you know. That includes appreciating what you have, being resourceful,
or you can make it yourself.
We're all about DIY.
And the whole point is also challenging the framework of capitalism, which definitely means going against the grains of there has to be somebody who is poor in order to make your profit.
Right. And we just want to charge reasonable prices to begin with. You know, so there's not much fluctuation that needs to be done with that. It just means that, you know, we accept a suggested donation for whatever this is, and you know, and that's just compensation for energy, compensation to be able to continue to do the work that we love to do, which is really being out here in the community. You know, if you're in Boston, you'll see us out here. You've probably already seen us, and you know, we like to go out and kind of, you know, give out our items, give out the tools that we make. You know, I'm sitting here sewing up something. I'm sorry if I seem like, you know, but this is what we do, you know, like we hand make, we handcraft, like we spend our time and our energy and our shade to make things, not to mention it's very therapeutic.
And that's all a part of self-care.